right, Jeff, ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll just start with people trickling in a little late. That's totally fine. Welcome, everyone, to Supercharge Your Growth, Scalable All-in-One Sales and Marketing System. I'm Alise Riedel, and I'm a strategist at the Minneapolis agency Dynamical, and I'm here with my coworker, Jeff, who's a functional lead. Today, Jeff's going to walk through what to look for in your tech stack and how to really develop the best platform for your sales and marketing teams to work and be aligned throughout all parts of the marketing and sales process. We'll have about 10 minutes at the end for questions as well, so feel free to stay on and we'll answer anything that comes up. If you have a question along the way, feel free just to type it into chat and we'll be sure to address it at the end.
Awesome. Thanks, Alise. Hey, everyone. I'm really excited to get going here with you all. One thing I just wanted to point out here at the beginning is a little clarifier. So whenever we talk tech stack, there's a lot of different definitions around tech stack. So what we're going to be talking about today, I also want to just say what we're not talking about. What we won't be talking about is your front end, JavaScript, CSS. We won't be talking about back end, SQL, or .NET. What this session is specifically about is around our sales and marketing tech stack, CRM, marketing automation, prospecting tools, data intelligence, how to use them, state of where we're at, and where do we go from here. So I'm actually going to shut off my video. I've been a part of a couple sessions here, and I don't want to distract you from the content that's being there. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off my video, and then I'll come back at the end for the Q&A. All right. So today, what we will be handling is the state of sales and marketing tech. Where are we? You know, what's been happening these past few years and where do we see it going? How to select the right technology for your organization as you're looking to scale and grow, and where does that fit into place into your current systems and processes? And then a recommendation from myself and Alise as to where we see that you should start, a good technology to put in place from the get-go. And then we're going to be going through the Q&A. All right, state of sales and marketing tech and what it means to you. 8,000. It's a huge number. Basically, that number, let alone, is the number of just the marketing technologies that have been put in place in 2020. So as a total marketing solutions that are out there, we're looking at 8,000 different marketing technology solutions. Exciting, huh? So sales and marketing technology growth, just what we've seen from 2011 until 2020 is about a 5,233% increase. This is found on chiefmartech.com, this data. 13.6% increase from 2019 alone, and that's after 615 went away or were consolidated or bought out. So a huge uptick in the different types of technologies and solutions that are out there. And data saw the largest uptick in about 25.5% since then, because obviously looking around the different things that we have and the technologies and insights, data encompasses everything. So different technologies and how to utilize and leverage that data, where do we put it in place when it comes in terms of our marketing, our personas, our prospects, our customers, and moving on from there. Just to give you even a better picture of what that 8,000 looks like, again from chiefmartech.com, this is those 8,000 solutions, and they've broken them up into different categories from commerce and sales, data, management, advertising, and promotion. So you can see the conglomerate that is marketing technology. And in my opinion, when I see something like this, I get really overwhelmed. I think, oh my gosh, how is it even possible for me to select the right technology knowing that all 8,000 of these are out there? And this is what I really wanted to go through, just to kind of give you an idea of, look, we came from 167 solutions back in 2011, and now we're at 8,000. As startups, investors, and maybe you're in a chief marketing role or a sales leadership role, weighing in on the right technology that's for you. And as you're looking to grow your organization, maybe your sales team starting to develop, and you want to reach that next quarterly goal or the next annual goal from a revenue standpoint, All of these different solutions mean a lot of things, but what it means specifically here to you is, there's a competitive landscape. Solutions are continuing to innovate and optimize, which is great things. You have plenty of options to choose from, which shows the necessity of sales and marketing technologies. Having these in place today, the market continues to look for them and purchase them and putting them in place, because they're not something where you're expected to take the technology and that's going to do the work for you. Technology is meant to come in place into your current systems and processes to help you optimize them. And so what we'll be talking about is, selecting the right technology the first time and why that's critical, and how we can manage this landscape of over 8,000 solutions between marketing and sales technology. And really, diligence is key. So let's go through some things to consider. First, let's talk selection process. If any one of us has ever changed vendors or started the process of looking for a vendor for the first time, you know how long and complex it can be. Numerous meetings, both internal and external, with every single vendor that's along the way. There's demos that need to happen, proposals and negotiations, test drives, legal, MSAs, a lot of different things come into place. And time is money, as we all know. So making sure that we're spending the right time with the right vendors and moving on from there. It takes diligence and care in conjunction with a systematic approach, and crowdsourcing helps out a lot. Because as you look at it, how do I do this with 8,000 plus options? You might all be feeling and thinking that. And so we're going to kind of go through some ways to make this a lot simpler process. And I mentioned crowdsourcing. Thomas Edison quote once said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that don't work." The beautiful thing is with all of these technologies that have been out there, there have been technologies out there, maybe even since 2011, that have stayed around that long. And there are plenty of customers for each one of those technologies that have been around longer. You can crowdsource that effort by taking a look at reviews, looking at sites like TechAdvisor, Data Review, all of those different sources where you can actually see what people are saying and how it fits from organizational size, sales team size, marketing team size. So utilize the different reviews and your own network as well to be able to find out what the best technology use is for you. And here's some key factors to consider whenever you're deciding on a new technology in the marketing and sales roles. Goals is number one. It has to align. Business and marketing and sales need to be in alignment when you're looking at the overall goals perspective from a technology standpoint. All the bells and whistles aren't necessary unless they bring real and measurable present or near future value. It's so cool to see. I've been a part of many demos, having been in the sales world for 7+ years. I was a part of some really cool demos where they were showing me heat maps and all of these things where I can really hone in on particular prospects and different areas where I might be able to focus in my messaging. And then there was all these other bells and whistles that I didn't really even need, but yet they were so cool and I kind of fell in love with them, and then we ended up going for them and we never used them. So just know, especially in startup phases, what are the immediate needs that we have right now, and does this technology fulfill the immediate needs, and do they help us align with our goals and achieve them over these next quarters coming up to the end of 2020 and future as we look to 2021. Budget. Obviously, budget is a key factor. You need to weigh what the cost is and the true cost of the solution is when it comes to licensing, minimum terms, implementation, customization, maintenance, upgrades, all things to consider as you're budgeting out and when you're looking at future projected growth. So as you look to scale, you have to keep in mind, hey, here's when we're actually going to renew. So what are the new things that we're going to be looking to put in place based off of what our revenue goals are over this next course of the year? So don't just think in terms of this is my budget now, but what is my future budget going to be, and what is that expected budget going to look like? Another key factor, understanding. So tech stack is such a nice term. like when I think of a stack, how neat it is, and you place it all, that you have a nice linear list of things that are just all laid out nicely. And I just think that's a myth. Tech is never just a neat, nice stack. I look at more of as a tech splat as being more appropriate, because one technology can actually touch so many different other technologies within your organization and the different processes, and systems that you have in place. It can affect everything, even from a marketing technology standpoint. And also you realize that it's now affecting your HR onboarding technology. And you're like, I never even thought about that. Like, how on earth was I supposed to know that I needed some digital assets for our HR tech to be housed in my new marketing automation platform? So just know, when it comes to your technology and when you're looking at it, you have to look at it holistically and how it's going to play in with your other techs that you're looking at implementing, whether it's data time card sheets, the whole slew of different CRMs and marketing front-end automations. Maybe it's even from a recruiting platform. So, and there's the different types of technology and choices there, whether best in breed or single vendor. They should never should be looked at as being siloed. Just know that they're going to touch and integrate with an overall perspective of the different tech. Other factors to continue: customers. Now, when I say customers, I'm speaking both your internal customers, which is your employees, your sales team, your marketing team, your leadership. How are they going to be interacting, and what is their experience? External customers, whether it's a marketing automation tool and the type of email formats that are being sent out, are they be able to go through certain firewalls? How are the different templates that they give you for visuals and CTAs? So you also have to think about how they're going to interact. Your external customers are going to interact with the technology that you're putting in place. Your sales team, do they like the technology as far as being able to input activity or even add a contact? How easy or difficult is it for them to do those things? So just weigh in and get insight from multiple teams when you're looking at the technologies at hand. Customer support. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. When looking at technologies that have been out a while, you can review the customer reviews. But at the same time, the longer a technology has been out, you can assume that they have some sort of customer support in place. If you're one of those people that love, kind of the bleeding edge technologies that are out there, that are just brand new, they're hot off the press, just know that the customer support aspect, it's usually overlooked, but it's definitely felt if it's not present. So being able to handle those newer technologies, do they have the support in place to be able to support your team? You can see if there are any support groups out there or technology partners that are in place with the vendor. It's huge when you're looking at the different tech that's out there, because you want to make sure the adoption is put in place. And so any type of support groups or tech vendors that can give you insights when you're now utilizing the technology whenever a question comes up is a huge benefit. And as well as data. Data, like I mentioned before, is seeing the highest percentage when it comes to the new tech that's out there. So how does the technology that you're looking at allow you to capture and leverage the data at hand, and is it easily accessible? So Sean Garrity had a great quote. Sean is actually the one who's developing the Home Depot user experience through their app. And the technology you use impresses no one. The experience you create with it is everything. And I feel like that can be put in place. Technology can be kind of interchanged with a lot of things. What is your marketing content? The marketing content you use impresses no one, but how are your prospects actually interacting with that marketing content? How are your internal customers interacting with your experiences that you have in place for them when it comes to the process percentages? So just something to consider when you're looking at the different tech that's in place. So a little recommendation: both a best in breed and single vendor solution. So there's a lot of pros and cons. And if you've gone through vendors, bringing on a new vendor and procuring any technology vendor, a lot of times there is this option between best in breed and kind of what a single vendor solution might look like. Pros and cons of best in breed: obviously you're trying to get the best technology in place, the best user experience, to be able to kind of get out what you need to get out or do what you need to do from a best in breed. Single vendor is you only need to sign in once. You have one technology that handles it all. And then there's only one billing rate that goes out to, which is also nice. So there's tons of things out there when it comes to what should we do? Should we go for best in breed where we have to have multiple vendors and go through multiple demos, or should we go through a single vendor solution? And actually, the recommendation I'm about to suggest is both a best in breed and a single vendor solution, kind of unique. And that is where HubSpot comes into play. So as Alise mentioned at the beginning, we work for a company called Dynamico, and we're actually a HubSpot Platinum partner, where we have partnered with HubSpot from a technology standpoint and look to help their clients and our own clients implement HubSpot. as well as use the system to help grow their organization's revenue, working with their marketing and sales teams and looking at it from a holistic approach. HubSpot is a scalable all-in-one sales and marketing system. It's powerful alone with the different hubs that they have available, but it's all better together. HubSpot offers a fully customizable full stack of marketing, sales, and customer success tools with a CRM at its core. So when looking at the different CRM, sales, marketing, tech stack that we have in place, there's a lot of tools that you need to consider. Whether it comes to content marketing with your content management system, SEO, landing pages, digital asset management, social media management, marketing automation, email marketing, mobile marketing, workflows, tasking. Then there's sales enablement, data and analytics, the website, and the different integrations that come into place. And so HubSpot actually checks off each one of these boxes when it comes to content marketing, marketing automation, sales enablement. And then when mentioning, single all-in-one solution with a single vendor with HubSpot is the different hubs that HubSpot has continued to build over time, whether it comes to CRM to now the CMS and then now account-based marketing, and the different things that they continue to grow as an organization to add value to each one of their clients, and that now in the forefront, our partners can then add value to them. But then when we're looking at best in breed, HubSpot has opened up their APIs and looked at different app partners. There's a whole app ecosystem, and that's where the integrations come into play. So maybe there's certain things that you might find that with HubSpot, a certain hub works well for you because, again, technology and the processes and looking to enhance your current processes. Now we're looking at, okay, well, our process might not fit this hub in particular, but let's see what HubSpot has from an integration standpoint, and that way how we can pre-build that in. So just to give you an idea, if you haven't been on HubSpot's ecosystem site, here are all the different integrations that HubSpot has in place today and more. Like a lot of these are just the HubSpot app partners that they have where there are some pre-built integrations already in. But more and more people are adding integrations of their own through their open APIs in order to build into HubSpot today. So this is where you can get those different best in breed options while all in one platform. Now, Dynamico, where do we come into play? So I mentioned this before that we're a platinum partner. We're also Sales Hub Enterprise Implementation Certified, which is top 1% of agencies implementing the HubSpot growth stack. We look at ourselves as growth partners, partnering with your sales and marketing teams. We're also a certified trainer, 1 out of 15 trainer certified agencies in North America. So we love talking technologies. We love tech stacks. We love working with sales and marketing teams to help scale your organizations and help it grow. And so if you're ever looking to kind of bounce conversations off of people and wondering, okay, this is the different things that we're looking at, or maybe you want a demo of HubSpot to kind of see what the different things are, where we can actually take your current sales or marketing process and show you what it might look like within HubSpot, we'd love to have those conversations with you. Awesome. So I wanted to open it up now and actually turn back on our cameras here. And then we want to kind of open it up for you guys to ask any questions that you might have or connect with us to be able to set up a demo, or maybe you just want to have a conversation around tech stacks. All right, so Ben just put in a question here. We are a multinational exploring HubSpot for CMS and website. Does HubSpot allow me to redirect visitors based on the country of their IP address? Yeah, great question, Ben. Alise, are you still there as well?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. All right, so Ben just asked, we are a multinational exploring HubSpot for CMS and website. Does HubSpot allow me to redirect visitors based on the country of their IP address?
So I know that HubSpot can get really, really, really complex when building out websites and then building out segmentation within your CRM. So HubSpot most likely has, if they can't do it based on the needs of your site and your business, they'll have a third-party partner that can usually step in and help kind of build that out and redirect those the way they need to be. But that's definitely something we could dig into and look into with our team at HubSpot to figure out a little if we needed to. But there are international companies that redirect based off of IPs that we know of that live on HubSpot, yes.
Cool. Jenny asked another question. Yeah, vetting vendors is not easy. Let's be honest. It does sound pretty amazing on the front end. Questions that we recommend to ensure the system you are being sold actually exists on the back end. Yeah, one of those things that I mentioned as far as crowdsourcing or looking at and utilizing your own network, that can tell you a lot. A lot of times too, within the sales process, you're in meeting with vendors, you're actually meeting the majority of the time with a sales rep. And it's always good to include one of their engineers in the process as well, because they might have some understandings on more of the back end workings as far as how your process is going to fit. And that's why, like for myself, I'm not on the sales team for Dynamico. I'm actually a functional lead, and so I actually help with the implementation back end side. And I like to sit in on those sales meetings as well, because when we're sitting in, we're starting to hear more as far as what the process standpoint and what your actual needs are. And that way I'm able to provide insight as far as from an architecture or mapping standpoint on the back end, how this is best going to flow within HubSpot or looking at third-party partners on how we can best utilize this. As far as other questions out there, I can actually follow up with you if you want to send me an email as well. I would love to send you some questions that are very good to include in your vetting process. So if you're currently in a vetting process right now, obviously send that over sooner rather than later, and that way I can follow up with you on some good questions that I've seen from RFPs or that people like to include just from an overall standpoint. Cool. Any other questions that we can answer for you? No worries, Jenny. I appreciate that. I look forward to it. Another question that you all might have, not related to HubSpot or the technology stacks and vendors that you're looking. I am in my basement. I am not in a jail. I always hop on Zoom calls and people are wondering where I'm at. This is literally an iron cast jail door though, which is kind of neat. Thanks, Ava. All right, Kitty mentions it's not uncommon for companies to invest in a tech stack, but then not even scratch the surface of using it to its fullest capabilities. What advice do you have for companies that need to reset and make the most of their investments? Yeah, great question, Kitty. This is why we're trying to look at and wanted to provide a recommendation. So let me start with this. I mentioned that I'd been working in sales for 7+ years. Prior to Dynamico, I was an account executive for multiple companies. And there was, we currently had different technology in place. And one thing that came into play is that I certainly found out that how much time I had been wasting, whether it was entering in activity that was actually taking me away from revenue generating activities. And one company I worked for was a startup, and we needed to get off the ground as fast as we could and start getting revenue within the door. And so when I quickly found out and started adding up the time, not just for myself, but our whole team, and found out that about 8 hours a month for just myself was being put into sales activities and just entering that into my current technology rather than it happening automatically, that's what began the process for me, knowing that, okay, one out of the 13 reps has 8 hours a month going to non-revenue generating activities was a huge red flag as far as the technology that we had in place. And that's what actually drove me to find HubSpot. So when I was vetting technologies for our organizations, that's where I came across HubSpot and found out I would be able to save those 8 hours per month just myself, and then times that by 13, and then our whole team was now putting that time into more prospecting and making more sales calls, as well as working more hand in hand because marketing was using HubSpot on a marketing automation tool. And now we were bringing in the sales CRM and professional. So that was huge. So the advice for companies that need to, that like myself came across this and know we needed to change. One is you want to find out when your renewal date is, because most companies are, unless the pain is too great, right? Like if you realize how much revenue is walking out the door. But you want to understand when your renewal date is for that current contract that you might have with that vendor, because that'll help you start planning and also start helping from a planning on an internal phase. So what I actually had to do is I actually had to basically sell the technology that I was looking to put into place within the organization first. So as I was vetting vendors, now I have to vet the vendors to leadership. And that conversation can be difficult. So you want to know, one, how is your leadership? How do they speak? What's important to them? And a lot of times understanding from a reporting aspect, return on investment, they're going to want to know what it's going to look like from a goals perspective. What are the immediate goals that you can see, and what are the long-term goals that you're looking to put in place from that different vendor that you're looking to have. Or let's say you have a technology that you have and you want to make the most out of it. I mentioned this too, but like looking for technology partners. I actually know a ton of people that come up to me and they find out I'm working for a HubSpot partner agency, and they say, well, Jeff, I wish we would have done that when we implemented HubSpot, because we have come to find out that there are all of these different things in place that our team is struggling with. There's a lot of people that aren't adopting it. They don't know how to treat the different marketing leads that are coming in and how to interact with those. And so we wish we had somebody like you. And it's never too late. If your technology has a technology partner, reach out to them. There's a lot of times some hourly support, or there are different packages that they can put in place for you to be able to find support for you. So if that's what you're looking at to make the most of your investment, I would definitely recommend looking at a technology partner. Is it ever too early? Ava asked this. Is it ever too early or too late for businesses to adopt a CRM system? If you don't have one, you're too late. No, it is never too late and never too early. CRM, customer relationship management, is, like I mentioned, just seeing the growth from 2011 of the different solutions just shows the need, and it also shows the market for how many organizations are buying it. So if you don't have a CRM in place today or haven't even begun looking, it is vital that you start. Because if you don't adapt to the technologies that are coming out there, you are already falling behind to what your competitors might be doing. And plus HubSpot, just another plug here, HubSpot has a free CRM starter. So it's a pretty cool. So definitely go check it out from a free standpoint if you want to just get a feel for what it looks like. And you can reach out to me and Alise as well, and we'll actually set you up with that and to show you, and we can actually walk you through the different feel of it, and we can set that up with you. You bet, Ava. Thank you for the question. Anyone else? We have a few minutes here, and I want to make sure I'm answering any other questions that people might have, whether around vetting vendors, questions that come up, or just looking at your own tech stack. We here at Dynamico as well, we're more than happy to meet with you to do a tech stack audit if you already have tech in place. Otherwise, again, just recommending more. Maybe there's a full-on, well, Jeff, we need this, this, and this. Outside of HubSpot, what would you recommend? And we'd be more than happy to have those conversations with you. Yeah, you bet, Ben. Thanks for joining. Alise, do you have anything else?
No, I think really good questions, and I think you nailed it on the head, Jeff. Definitely adopt CRM earlier than later. I liked your answer to that, but the free option definitely helps.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider when you're looking at your overall business goals, and sometimes free is out there for a reason, and there's not always the most features that you might need in place, especially when you're looking to scale, but it might be a great starter. And then that way we can look and go from there from a feature standpoint to see where you're looking to go and how quickly you're looking to scale. Kristen asked this, what are the biggest opportunities you see companies miss out on from not having an integrated tech stack? Oh man.
Failure, not able to attribute efforts. That's a big one that we see with companies that have misaligned tech. Sales gets leads, but they don't know where they're coming from, and marketing's pumping a bunch of leads to sales, but there's never a closed loop on reporting. I think that's the biggest one we've seen lately. Also just missed opportunities for upsell right there as well. If I'm a consumer and I buy one product and you know that I'm usually going to buy another one, it's hard for your sales team to know how I've been interacting and what I'm doing if I don't have those insights into what marketing is sending and saying. On marketing's end, they don't know what's being purchased. It's hard for them then to send the right messaging at the right time. Just missed opportunity there. That's probably my number one, but I'm sure you have a different one, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. I just think as far as a missed opportunity is just the emotional state that you can get in with your team members as far as not being in that alignment. So when you don't have goals aligned, people think, okay, I do have my goals aligned. My marketing department is siloed, right? So our tech is our tech and we're doing what our goals are and here's how they're going to operate within the overall business goals. But a lot of times if sales has their own campaigns that they're trying to run that aren't even speaking to the prospects that marketing is trying to get from a lead perspective. And now these leads are coming in and sales is running a completely different story, a completely different campaign of what that's talking about. It can be confusing at times because it's like, look, no, we're trying to focus on this industry or this niche. And you're talking to a completely different industry or a completely different niche. And sometimes you can just avoid overall internal meetings, which we all know internal meetings, we know how that goes sometimes. But you just want to make sure that having that alignment and integration is such a key part because now you actually have insight onto what each department is talking about. And we're not just talking sales and marketing, but there can be back-end customer support. Alise mentioned upsales. How is your account managers? How are your customer relationship people actually handling those relationships? One cool thing about HubSpot, and I had the image in this slide deck, is that they don't look at it as a funnel. So everybody hears sales funnel, so you start with your overall engagement and you lead it all the way down to a customer and then they go through the funnel and that's it. Whereas HubSpot has developed what they call a flywheel. So more so, you're actually looking at a circular fashion as far as what the life cycles are from a prospect to customer. And then actually bringing them back around, knowing that there might be some new opportunities that you can provide to your clients in upsell fashion or value-based solution sales. Does that answer your question, Kristen? Appreciate the exclamation point. It's awesome. Good. Glad to hear that. Cool. Well, I will leave it open for a few more minutes if there are any other questions. Otherwise, I do believe we are at time, so I want to be mindful of everybody's day. And I know that there's a lot of great sessions out there, so I do encourage you to get into some more sessions as we go about here. And I look forward to connecting with you guys. Feel free to shoot an email to myself and Alise and reach out, and we'd love to network with you. Cool. Have a great day, everyone. If there are any other questions, like I said, our emails are right there, and then shoot us an email if there are any other future questions, and then we would be happy to answer them for you.